Well, hello there. I am Kathy Crow. Thank you so much for joining me here at the Crow Cottage. It's nice to have you here. Today, I'm kind of excited about the little project I have made. Not because it's really anything all that special. I just really liked this one. And I like the idea of all the things I could do with the stamp set. So refreshing. So I had a little hunt before just starting, of course, because I always forget to get these things out ahead of time. But this is the stamp set. Oh, good, it's not backwards. Sometimes I forget to do it. It has little lemons in it or limes, so whatever you want to do for that is citrus. So you could do anything you want. You could do oranges. So today I think it's an orange one. But inside the dies, there's these little teeny tiny strawberries. So, and they're mint leaves. There's also this really cool tea tag that I cut it out and I was ready to use it, and I never actually used it with any of the cards that I've done yet because it's really small for one thing, and it was kind of hard for me well, it wasn't hard to figure out. It was really small. It was hard for me to figure out how I would like to put it on a teacup or a goblet, or it comes with these tumblers. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. These really cool tumblers. And so anyhow, all right, let's see. I think I have everything going as good as I can get it. It is bonus days, and that means that for every $50 you spend at Stampin' Up, please shop with me. I appreciate it very much. And for every $50 you spend, Stampin' Up will send you an email with a $5 coupon that you can redeem in August. And in August, we demonstrators are gonna get to start playing around with some of the new holiday things that are gonna come out in the holiday catalog in September. So I'm sure you will start seeing some of those things. And it is a warm summer day, but it's actually quite nice. And it said that it was a 20% chance of rain. So I thought, oh, it's not going to rain here for sure. It never does when it's that low. It seems like, we haven't lived here that long for me to really have that kind of information. I could say stuff like that back in the Tri-Cities because we lived there. We lived there for 32 years, before we moved. I think it was 32 years. Isn't that right, Mary? So, because I gauge it by our daughter's age, Mary. Oh, my little hummingbird's out there again. He's so cute. He's going to be gone before I move the camera, so you won't be able to see him. But he does like to be out there. So let's see if you can see him. He is still out there. Do you see him? There he goes. So cute. Hi, Diana. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, I am going to put the camera down. How come I can't see over here? This is the place that I'm supposed to be viewing. Over on the side is where I'm viewing, comments and who's with me and all of that. And I can't see any of that stuff over there. It's like, good grief, I can't be looking at this phone when I'm recording yet. It just seems like that's the only method that Facebook is allowing me to view things, which is just so awkward for me. I don't know how everyone else is managing it. They seem to be managing just fine with it. I am not. Okay, I'm gonna keep trying to, I keep moving my camera around because it's like, it just definitely won't go at the angle I kind of need it to be. Okay, so now we'll go at this more of a right angle here on my desk, and let's see if I can position that better so that the camera can be flat. Otherwise, I can't have it flat. And then you're viewing everything kind of counter wonkers. And I've got to have, I don't probably have to have my phone plugged in. So I'm playing with my cord right now because I do have it plugged in because just before I started, my Facebook was like acting up, and like my internet feed was sketchy, and so I thought, okay, fine, I will plug you in and let's hope that fixes it. Okay, so now let me cover up this white space because it sort of messes with the lights up ahead. This is, of course, this is my host code for this month. I'm reminding you that it's bonus days. If you go to KathyCrowsCards.com, all of the projects that I put up there they generally tend to be later than my newsletter. And that's because, or is that correct? Yeah, they're later than my newsletter because I'd like you to take my newsletter. So that's why I'm doing that. Also, I just don't have time to, I don't have the capability to pay for a service where it's going to post everywhere at once. And then I only have to like do it one time and it goes everywhere. You have to actually pay for a service that's going to be, you know, reliable to get that capability. As far as I know, I am no expert, so what do I know? And I'm still kind of monkeying with this. All right, I think we're good as it's going to get. Diana, how are you? My son who lives in just outside of Boise, Idaho, said that it was hot, but it wasn't too bad. It was actually pretty bearable. Oh, there's that hummingbird again. He's so cute. He's just like an ordinary hummingbird. But for me, that's really cool because I never did hummingbird feeders in the Tri-Cities because we had other birds. And I had so many plants. I couldn't be messing with a hummingbird feeder and cleaning it, you know, every few days like you're supposed to and all. But here I actually have time to do that because I don't have to water all the time. I don't have to weed all the time. All right, this is the card I'm going to do. It's a folder card, and in my newsletter that's coming out in a few weeks, I do have written instructions for this. It's not difficult to do, but you do need a die that is a long border type die. We've had several of those, and wouldn't you know it, I am going to have to hunt here for, here, you can look at my card. I'm going to have to hunt here for just a minute. This one's from, oh, there it is. This is from the Basic Border Dies. These are dies in the catalog right now, and it has this envelope straight stitched one. It has another envelope you know, angled one. Love it. Zigzag. It has like everything. I'm going to use this scalloped die today, but the Basic Borders die, so glad they did not retire it. Sometimes these tend to retire, it seems to me, like pretty quick. Hummingbird, you're so cute. I gotta get your feeder changed because you're coming all the time, and it's time to change your feeder juice. The feeder juice I've seen pictures of hummingbird tongues when they get that whatever disease they get because you didn't change the water out often enough. And so I'm really petrified that I'm going to do that to a hummingbird. And it's time, but he must really like it. The lady right behind us has a deck, and she has hers up on the top of her deck. And we've got one under the deck, which you're actually not supposed to do. But I'm trying to keep it out of the sun, so that's why I have it up there. But she has 2 feeders, maybe even 3, so I'm sure he's making the rounds all over the neighborhood. All right, so this set is very, very easy to stamp with. You are going to love this one. If you do not have it, you've got to get it. This little blanket, it's so cute. It has ice cubes. I mean, I haven't even used them, but you can do it with the little stamped ice cubes, and then it does a tray of ice cubes. There are so many things you can do. This little flower bunch is actually super cute. I don't know if I'm going to have time to get to this project. This one, I'm not even going to write out a tutorial for it because it's actually super easy to do, but it's hard to describe it. So, it's really easy. Maybe I'll just do it even if I don't get a chance to actually complete the card today, at least so you can see. And most of you who have been doing stamping for a while, you've already made cards like this. It's actually, it looks more complicated than it is. But look at the little flower bunch that comes with this set. Isn't that so cute? I really like those flowers. You can do them all kinds of different ways. So maybe we'll have a chance to do it. This has the little rind in it, but I thought, wouldn't it be nice to combine this with our other fruit? So I use sweet citrus with this one. And so here's the little slices that go with this So Refreshing set, and this is So Refreshing. But these are all my sweet citrus stamps, and so is the Have a Zesty Birthday. So that's sweet citrus, but wouldn't it be nice with our old Sweet as a Peach? I might use this one today, actually. I haven't decided yet. And sweet strawberry. Oh yeah, sweet strawberry. You would be good in our little punch bowl or punch pitcher. And Swedish cherries. I'll have to get the cherry punch if I use this one. So they're pretty large. We probably have, I'm sure, other cherries too. Maybe I won't be using the cherry one because I think I will, if we're going to go with red or pink, I'll do strawberry. And then if I want to do sweet as a peach, we'll do that. I don't know, but I wanted to show you sweet citrus. I know I've done it before, but because that one's still in the catalog, and it's definitely one you don't want to miss. If you haven't got it yet, you've got to get it because that one is when you just, you've just got to have it. It's too cute, and I'll show you why in a moment. Let's go ahead and get started on this project. So first of all, you're going to need one whole complete piece of cardstock, whatever color you want as your background. Mine is Pale Papaya, which is actually retired. So I'm going to go ahead with Pale Petal Pink today. And instead of combining it with Pumpkin Pie, we're going to do a little bit more of a pinky orange. You could call it a blood orange, I guess. They're kind of pinkish, sort of. And then put Petal Pink with Flirty Flamingo. Since those are colors that we have, and I didn't want to make you sit and watch me using Pale Papaya, although I was really sad when I got in there to see, is that color even here around? After I made the card, I got it out and thought, no, it's not even one that's available anymore. What was I thinking? So take your whole sheet of whatever color is your basic color, the main one. You're going to see more of it. And I've got like a little smudge here. So I'm going to want that to be on the inside of my card where I'm going to cover it anyway. So I'll just leave it up on the top here. You're going to put your cardstock at 4 1/4 like you normally do. And then here on this bar, find your 5 1/2 mark because you're going to stop cutting when you get to that point. Okay, you're going to just slide your cutter down to 5 1/2 and stop. And then we'll get our score tool and we'll score the rest of the way. And then we're going to turn the paper, turn it long ways, and then we're going to cut here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut this piece out is basically all I'm doing. Hi, Donna. How are you? I bet you've done this kind of a project before. Okay, I'm going to just score here right now just so I've got the score done. And now I'm going to cut down to my 5 1/2 inch mark. There is that line right there. Just line that right up. Okay, and then stop. I'm going to pull that up and out. And then I'm going to turn my card and we're going to put it over here on 5 1/2. And that should put me right where I want to cut. This piece is the piece I'm cutting out. Okay? So now just go right up to where your cut is, coming right on down. If you don't want to go over it, so it would be better if you have to use your scissors to make that actual cut there rather than see, it's a join just a tiny bit because you don't want to go over. So there, it fell out, and that works too. But I am going to save this because I'm going to use this piece for this little frame. But I don't think I need another piece of petal. Oh, I will for my little label down there. I forgot I used that. That's our stitch. What is it called? It's Essential Dies. It's one that's kind of hidden in there in the catalog. Have you guys seen it in there? I don't know if it's Stitched Essentials or just Essentials. My paper's just a little fuzzy because my blade's probably getting a little bit dull. So I'm gonna just sort of, actually fitting for me. I feel I'm a little dull this morning, just a little bit, because it is overcast out there. It has been really sunny and nice. Now, because this is going to fold down inside, I am going to trim just a tiny, tiny bit off. So my fold is going to fold here nicely. Actually, I see it overhang here, so I'm going to just trim that away first, too, before I even do anything else. That's just a teeny tiny cut. Just that tiny sliver so that I'm not seeing any overhang here. And then this is going to fold down into it. So let's do the score line. So just line where your card is right here. Line that up right in the track. And then score. And that will score this flap that's going to come down. Oops, actually we're coming down this direction. And now, as you can see, this is lined up perfectly right on the score line, but I actually need a little room for this to fold out and over. So I am going to just trim tiny, tiny bit right here, just so that it can fold in there nicely. Now I took off maybe a tiny bit more than I needed, but better to do that than to not have it quite right. Okay, so now there's going to be plenty of room. It can close, and isn't that cute? I mean, right now I'm already ready for something cute to happen here. All right, now we're going to cut this lovely scalloped edge with our cutting machine. Oh boy, that's all you need. You need your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and all the dies that you can afford, and you are all set for some wonderful card making. And your relatives and your friends and your co-workers are just gonna be wowed by all the beautiful things that you make, because it is surprising what a professional job you can get from just a few of these things. I'm gonna have to, I think I have a plate here that's a new one. I need a new plate so that you can kind of see what I'm doing. And also, I think one of mine's kind of bowed. They do get kind of, you know, bowed in the middle. And I tend to overuse them, so I'm gonna move this out of the way. Bring that in, and then this is the plate I'll just stick on the bottom here. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this piece at an angle with our basic border die with the scallop. Now there's the scallop is the cut part. Stitch, it doesn't cut out. So you just want to make sure your scallop is on the top, because that's the part you're actually cutting off, and we're going at an angle. So I need it to lay in there, right, like that. And you can angle it however you want. You can do it higher, you can do it lower. I am going to have a ribbon coming up at the top, so I think I am going to just move it a little bit. I noticed when I did this before, I could have given myself a little more of an edge. Oh, you can't even see what I'm talking about here. Let me move my machine like this so you can see what I'm talking about. The up here at the top, I had it like this, but actually I'm going to put my ribbon here, and I needed a little bit more of this showing. So I'm going to go ahead and move my die up just a tiny bit, just to give myself, hopefully I'm giving myself enough room for my ribbon. Okay. We'll run that through. All right, I hope you are having a wonderful day. I've already been out on my bike ride. I'm going to save that. I don't think I'm going to use it, but who knows. Look at that stitching. Isn't that pretty? I love this. It's just such a simple thing to do, and it's nice. It's just super nice. So this scalloped straight stitched thing, you will use it all the time. And that I have used the Rick Rack a lot. Some of the other things, I keep thinking I'm going to use them, but then I don't. The other thing that I'm going to use is this Darling Details. While I'm right here, I'm going to cut all of those out. This actually goes with a stamp set that's a flower one, which I don't have, so that's why I've just got it all loose in there, because I'm not using those anyway right now. But who knows? I think I'll probably buy the set eventually, so I'm not too worried about my lack of organization right now. I am going to use this piece on this. I'm going to center it right in the middle. It's going to cut in the interior and make a cutout, nice little frame. And then I'll trim the sides after I've cut it out. So let's do that one first. I've decided what I'm doing from now on, because I'm so tired of having little tiny tiny pieces of cardstock all over my floor like confetti, but I'm talking teeny tiny. I'm keeping my little roller thing. I'm keeping it like right at the edge of wherever I'm cutting from now on. And then I'm telling you, this has made a huge difference. Let me turn my machine so my handle's on my side. And yeah, this is just making a really big difference for me. I'll show you in a minute what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna put this right here, right in the center. Today at the park, it was really interesting because I'm such a suspicious person, apparently. I don't know why. Anyway, it's sad. It's very sad. And well, there's this elderly couple that I've noticed walking at about the same time in the park. Every time I'm there, you know, we're there at this approximately the same time every day. Really nice. And I thought the way the gentlemen, they kind of are always walking together since we've been here. So that's like 2.5 years. They are there every day, apparently. I'm not, but they are. Hi, Freddie. How are you? I saw him, he was like 10 paces ahead of her, and she was using a walker now, but he's used a walker in the past. He's like super slow too, so it's not like he's any speed demon. But he's always been really friendly and waved his hand and smiled and said hi sometimes, you know. And he didn't even make eye contact. And I thought, oh no. Because I didn't see him for like, I don't know, a few weeks. I saw just her by herself. Now I ran that through a couple of times just because those are little teeny tiny holes. And I want to be sure that I'm going to get that cut easy. And then what I'm going to do, oops, let me run it this way. What I'm doing to keep my poor little floor from looking like a garbage dump, I'm sticking this right here, and then I'm sure you're already doing this, but I'm so dumb. It took me years to figure out that this would actually save me a lot of vacuuming if I just take this and slide it like right into, voila, right into my handy dandy thing. And then do you see all of those little pieces? We're gonna keep all of those right in here. Hopefully. Now, when you're starting to roll out see, I just got that all off of there. Pretty lickety split, no trouble. I am going to move this back, but just for convenience's sake, we'll remove it for a minute. Now, I see a couple of pieces, but not much. When you roll it, it is going to pop out. And I am getting so anal with cleaning, apparently. I don't know. I guess I'm getting worse. If I do that, that's going to help a little. When you do this, it's going to pop out. Those are going to go on the floor. Yes, they will, but a lot less of them. I don't vacuum every day now. I used to when the kids were home and, you know, little and putting everything in their mouth, or when they were home and they were bringing stuff in on the floor all the time. But when it's just Jeff and I, we're quite clean. And we come in through the garage, so we're not like traipsing in dirt and grass and all that. Okay, so here's your little frame. Isn't that cute? This is well named, Darling Details. So well named. It's very cute. Then we'll trim that up in a minute. But first of all, I do need to clean this out. We're not going to use that. I want to get all those little extra pieces out. We'll slide that in here. And then the other thing I'm going to use out of our Darling Details. This one is the same, only the scallops are on the inside and cuts a little frame again, just like that other one, and it's super cute. I am going to use the little edge. This is a little eyelet ribbon slide edge. That's so fine. You're going to definitely want this one. I did want it, and when I got it, I didn't expect to be so taken with it. Okay, so I'll put this on the bottom. I'm gonna have to hunt down, oh no, did I put the wrong color? I did, no I didn't. No, I didn't, but I do need a contrast color for this one. So let me just slice a little bit of my Flirty Flamingo off here. And that should do it. Okay. Anyway, so since he wasn't making eye contact, I thought, well, maybe he's not talking. She wasn't talking. I mean, his behavior was different than it had been, much different. His health seemed to have declined some. And since he wasn't there for a few weeks, really, it could have just been an injury or something. Hi, Corey. It's nice to see you. How are you? Anyway, I thought, well, maybe he's got Alzheimer's or he's got dementia, because this is what happens, you know. It just does. Now, this one I definitely want to run through a couple of times, because all those little ribbon slide holes, I want to make sure those are all nice and clear for me when it's time to clean that out. Now, I'm going to bring this little guy over. We'll slide you right in there. Ta-da! Okay, now that is going to stay in there. You know, you're going to trim it the length that you want, but it's a huge piece, so you're not ever going to want. Well, you could do it longer, like if you were doing a scrapbook page. That would be nice with a nice ribbon slide on it. But I did not cut my ribbon. Why didn't I do that? I should have cut it already and cut it over here, because now I'll have to hunt for it. So, Darling Details. That's what that one is. And while we have the cutting machine out here, we're going to go ahead and use it to cut the little blanket. I'm going to just use this piece for our So Refreshing little blanket for our picnic blanket. Isn't that cute? It has the little tassels and everything. Very nice. So we'll use this little scrap for that. So that's what I thought. Now, I'm all wrong about it, of course. I mean, surprise, surprise. Have you ever done that where you get ideas about somebody that you don't actually know, but you see them every day, like in the store or, thank you, Corey. Yes, we are doing well. Hope you're doing well too. Jeff actually is helping with VBS today. So he said he was going to go out afterwards to the coffee shop, and he hasn't come home quite yet. So hopefully he's outside with the 5th and 6th graders. So hopefully it was not too bad for him, because the weather's worse up there. It's just slightly north of where we live. It's still Springfield, but it's just slightly north of us. So it's North Springfield. Anyway, isn't that cute? I love it. And it has these little raised edges, so you can do some things with it. So we'll deal with that in a bit. There are other pieces that I'm going to need to cut out, but of course I'll have to stamp them first. The only thing that I do need is those the nested essential dies. So I'm going to want a white one of this. It's kind of like our, what did we have? We had stitched. I really liked them, stitched nested, and I do use them still. Some of them are pretty big. They're a little wider, so I tended to not use these as much as I think I'm going to be using this one. And I like the little flag. Very cute. And there's a bunch. So you have all these little flags. You have this little rounded corner rectangle. And so I think I'm liking this one a little bit better than, let me get it back in my right spot. I've got everything all alphabetized again neatly, because I was using it and sloppily just sticking stuff in and not really paying attention to what I was doing. So I'm going to do this with one of the sentiments. So let's stick that in there, and then we'll just stamp it and have it ready to go. Oh, you like those the old nesting dies, Freddie? Because I agree. They're really, really good. I like them. But if you do like them, you will like these too. These are really nice. They, like I said, they're not quite as wide, so you can kind of get it to fit in without having to do a bunch of, you know, figuring it out, sort of cutting. All right, I don't think, will it fit in here? I think I can get it to squeeze in. Oh, it's so close. I'll have to go find a scrap of Petal Pink here, because that is not going to work for me. Let's see if I have a scrap on this side. I do. Let's grab it. Okay, so is it Petal? Yeah, it is. It's Petal Pink that I want. There we go. Okay. While I'm here, you know what? I'm gonna do a few of these just because I can, and then I can use those later, because who knows? I might want to. Anyway, so do you get what I'm talking about? Where you build up, I built up like this whole story in my brain over the years of watching this cute couple walk through the park, looking at all the flowers. They're Asian, and so I'm sure they do love plants like I do, and that would be why they're there every day. So I saw the old guy. He was, he's not homeless, but he's like sketchy. This other guy walks through the park once in a while. I've seen him there only this summer. He's got like 2 big dogs, and they're not always all that well behaved. And they run around and jump on things and bark really loud. I mean, they're not like any dogs out there. No, everyone else keeps their dogs pretty, you know, pretty taken care of there, because it's not that kind of a park. It's an old people walking around kind of park. So anyhow, he stopped my little old guy friend, and I thought, oh, brother, what are you doing? He always is there. This other guy with the dogs is always there with his shirt off. For one thing, if he's there in the summer or in the winter, I don't recognize him without his shirt off. I guess. I don't know. I'm just like, seriously, put your shirt on. I don't want to see that. And, so I thought, what are you stopping and talking to my friend who I'd never spoken to, you know? I watched him like a hawk, because they talked to him for a long time, was getting very close to him, and I thought, well, maybe my old friend does not have dementia, because I don't think he'd be carrying on this kind of a conversation. I must be wrong about that. And then I think I was wrong about everything, and I'm sure that other guy with his shirt off is perfectly fine. He had him take a picture of him with his dogs, and then he was looking at stuff on that guy's camera phone, and I just thought, you better stay away from that old guy if you're doing anything weird with him, or, you know, gonna steal his wallet or something. There are sketchy people around, you know. So anyway, nothing like that happened. Later, I saw the little lady sitting in the rose garden all by herself, and she was sitting there a while, because I went through a couple of times on my bike. And I thought, she's sitting there all by herself, and I saw that guy kind of distracted my little friend, and maybe she's waiting for him and he's not coming because he got distracted. He's going a different way because he doesn't really know what's going on anymore, you know? So I finally wrote up and I said, I'm so sorry to bother you. And she was like, oh yeah, because she recognized me, you know. No, it's fine. He's fine. I'm just waiting for him. I'm really slow, and so he'll be right along. Okay, so now this doesn't go quite all the way. I am going to trim this edge off. My ribbon's going to go through here, and there's this line. This is like a little fold line where that die is pressed in. I don't really want to cut into that, so I'm just going to cut pretty close to that edge just to straighten this up, and then I'll be able to use it a little bit better. I felt like a fool in a way, but thankfully nobody but you guys now know that I was acting like a fool, because you know, I think they're perfectly fine, and there was no problem with any of them. But man, I've got a suspicious nature, and I would have felt terrible if the guy had stolen my the other guy's wallet, and I just sat there watching, and I'm not doing that. So, okay, there we go. It's pretty straight. It could be a little straighter. I see this is a little narrower here, so I'm gonna attempt to straighten it out. Although cutting with the scissors like this is a real tricky task, so don't be surprised if it's not, you know, perfect and it kind of wobbles a bit. Jeff just came in, so he must have successfully completed day 1 of VBS. They have they're doing oh man, it's like a medieval kind of theme this year, and it's really cool. They have the church all decorated up with knights on the side and their shining armor, and it was really cool. All right, so this is going to go right here. So I'm not going to glue it down yet. I'm going to put my ribbon on there, and actually I'm going to tape it down. I still didn't leave enough room here because my ribbon's that's going to be somewhat problematic. Okay, we'll stick it like here, and then that'll give it a little more room, not a lot. I want my stitching to show is the problem. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just laying it here to see where I need to cut my edges off. Because I have to cut those off before I put my ribbon on there. And I don't want to cut my card. Okay, so there's one right there. Going to put it like right under my stitching. Of course, putting it under the stitching really shows my lack of straight line here. It's kind of some of the problem. And then make sure my edges there are fine, and this is fine before I do my last snip. Yes, success. Okay, so now we're ready to put in the ribbon. Do I have Petal Pink ribbon? Oh, I'm sure I do. Petal Pink is one that we have had, I think, quite a few. It's got to be fairly thin, but we got this really lovely, long time ago. We had this gold-edged Petal Pink. It's probably 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit bigger. I bet you that'll work. So you're just going to wind your thread, your pretty ribbon in. I don't know if I really want to use this ribbon. It's so pretty, and I'm hiding most of it. Isn't this lovely? I love it. So nice. Anyway, so there you go. I know they always used to tell us when I was in school, don't judge a book by its cover, but it's not that I am. It's just that it's fun to, if you're going to be in a place, Jeff always does it. He's really good at it, though. He comes up with really wild stories. The personality of people that you don't really know where you are. Of course, we're fairly friendly people, so generally, if we're anywhere for very long, we actually talk to the people and find out who they are, etc. But in the park, I don't talk to anybody. I'm walking along, enjoying nature, and most of the people there are doing the same thing, and it would be weird if I stopped and talked to them. They'd think I was trying to steal their wallet. All right. Today when I was outside trying to get that little bit of watering done, because I thought my 20% rain was not going to materialize into rain, and it really didn't. There wasn't enough to wet that ground too much. It was enough to get by for the day, though. If I hadn't done it, it would have been fine, but I was enjoying it. My little seedlings that I planted out without much hope of them actually germinating and taking root, they have. I've got little cosmos coming up out there, and I think I don't know. I I think some bachelor's buttons. These are the things that, you know, there's like no fail. Okay, now you don't want to go up too high. You want your ribbon to be, when I did my ribbon on this one, I realized I put it up too high. So I think we'll do it like a little bit further down, and you're kind of stuck with having to do it wherever this part comes up, but so that's where it's going to have to go. I don't need it to wrap around, so I'm going to wrap it around just enough to fasten it on the back, and then I'm going to just clip that off. So that I'm just going to tape on here. Okay, I'm going to grab a little piece of Scotch tape on the side. I just need a little piece of it. Right here. So that stays on there. And then this end will come up. I can't really come up there. That's okay, I don't need to. This is not I don't know if this is gonna work out, is it? Oh yeah, it will. Good, good, good. I was thinking I hadn't left enough spaces to come up and down, but I did. I'm good. This isn't even, I don't think this is the card I said I was making today. I do think the card I am gonna make, I said I was gonna make, I am gonna get to it. I don't even remember. I get excited making stuff and think, oh, I gotta show you guys this one. This one's so cute. And then sometimes if I do another one during the weekend, it's like, that's the one. I'm going to do this one. It's so cute. So if this isn't the one you are here thinking you are seeing, I am apologizing for it. I do try to do the ones that are going to be complicated and hard to do a tutorial for. You know, words can only do so much, and especially when you are, you know, not technical. I'm not a technical writer. If I was technical, I should probably have no trouble at all. But if it's going to be difficult or challenging, then I'm going to just want to do a video for it, and we'll be sure it'll turn out a little better than my tutorial. I didn't leave a lot of room there for my bow, but you don't really need a lot of room. Okay, now I don't really need to fuss with my bow too much yet. I'm going to just tie one just to make sure everything's set, but I'm sure I'll be retying it. Probably several times. Freddie is the master on our team of tying bows. And I'm always embarrassed, in fact, Freddie, when you're watching and you see me tying bows, because that actually turned out good. That's probably one of the better ones I've ever done, actually. It's kind of sad, but true. I'm going to leave this tail here for now, and then, you know, just because of the way it is, I don't know. I don't know if I can really work it. Maybe I can. Let's do it. Let's just tape it in there, just like this. I do want my adhesive to adhere that ribbon to. All right, did I leave enough to, I think I did. Hopefully, let me get that off though. I definitely don't want it showing on the other side. Come on. Okay, so anyway, did I ever even finish that story? The upshot is everybody's fine. Everything is fine at the park. And I should have just minded my own business. All right, there we go. Oh, you are so cute, even just now, and we haven't even done anything. All right, little darling details. I'm a sucker for pink and violet. I think we're going to do, you could tape it. I mean, you could glue it, but I want to use my tape. Where's my runner tape? I had it out. got stuff all over the desk again as usual. And now where did you go? There you are. Okay. I need a nice scrap here. Because I want that tape to be all the way to this edge. And yet I don't really want tape all over my blotter paper. That you started. Okay. Okay, now that's good. I don't really need it to be all the way to that other edge, but I do want more of it on this ribbon. Oh, that's sticky. All right, now when you peel it up, if you have any overhang, just make sure you've peeled it back and into itself. You don't really want that sticking out. I think I'm good. It's like permanently on my thumb. Okay, there we go. It is sticky. It's very sticky. This is the hard part. Like, I don't get any chance to fix this. It goes on and that's where it is. And I've got glue all over my hands. All over my finger. Rats. Okay, we can do this. Just be calm. All right, why is that ribbon sticking out like that? I don't want it sticking out like that, but that's okay. We're gonna just not. Why is your hand shaking? Ah, life. Okay, there we go. Oh man, I think I have it placed not quite right at the top. Don't push it down, and then you still can adjust. Okay, until you actually get it really right where you want it, don't push it down. I do have it where I want it there, so we're gonna push that down. And then right there. Okay, we're good. Let's untie that and push that all down nicely. Oh, you are so cute. Now my ribbon is hanging out and I'm gonna have to clip that. And here too. There's just, I shouldn't have left it hanging out like that. Maybe I'll just do this. How about this? It's adhered really well there, so I don't think I need to worry about it fraying. And this side, I can't really do that. We'll leave it on that side as is. And then it looks like I've got a little bit extra there. Perfect. Oh, you are sweet. I do need to clean this tape off. This is working out good to clean my blotter, though, having tape all over my hands. I do have to say that works really well. Man, it's getting, I have my fan on up over my head, but it's getting warm in here today. They said it was going to get near 90, I think maybe 95 today, but it's really nice outside still. I don't know. But in my room, the sun really blasts in here, even though it's very cloudy today, so there's no real blasting going on. It's still heating it up. It manages to heat this room up. This room that I'm in, I didn't realize it, but our house, when we bought it, we just bought it because it wasn't exactly what we wanted, but it was where we wanted it, and it was the price we wanted it, and it was big enough. It's huge for us, and for us it's huge. It's just a normal house, but anyway, I didn't realize that it was perfect for our bodies, though. Jeff stays nice and cool and comfortable down in the basement all day doing his stuff. And up here it's hotter and warmer and nice. It's like sweet. And my room's the hottest room in the house. It's very toasty. Okay, so with our little blanket, we're going to do some things with that. Right now, I am going to do, let's make sure I don't have glue here. I felt like I did have some there. Make sure there's no tape extras. We want to do the back side for this. And I want it to fit on here. I want it to fit smaller than the card that's in here because it doesn't have to, but I just kind of want it to because I want to make sure that folds nicely and, you know, there's no issues. So let's get the cutting board out. It looks like one side, this side's a little wider than this side. I tried to place it in there properly, but I didn't do a perfect job. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stitching line right here on my quarter line. And I'm kind of guessing, of course, let's do the short side. That'll be easier for me to see with that stitching line. Because, of course, it's not perfectly straight. I didn't get it exactly straight. I just did the best I can. Let's use a piece of cardstock. See if I'm really on that quarter line. I'm pretty close there because I couldn't really tell as well. This one I can see. All right, so with that on the quarter line, the stitch line, you should be able to trim that off all the way around, and then you'll end up with a nice quarter edge border. As usual, I can see that one pretty well. My nail is acting up here. All right, that quarter edge is there. So my stitching line needs to move over just a bit. There. All right, very good. I know this seems a little bit painstaking, but it's worth it. You want that to be nice and even all the way around if you can. So there's the quarter line. There's the quarter line. That looks pretty good. And the last one should be pretty close as is. Now, there's that one. There's that one. Let's get my paper again and line it up. That's the quarter line, that's the quarter line, and my stitching right there. All right, and that one was the most crooked side, I think. So it should be fairly straight. It's as straight as it's gonna get. And I think my cutting blade, this center part, I think over time it starts to get funky because I think my old cutter is cutting straighter. I think this one's getting pretty worn and isn't cutting perfectly straight all the way up from the bottom to the top anymore. So if you see that happening, you're going to have to get a new cutting board. I mean, it'd be nice if they just sold this is a piece that should be replaceable. I guess I should call Stampin' Up! Because they probably would replace it if I asked them to. This piece, I need that replaced. Okay, now what we want to do is put a piece of whatever this is, Flirty Flamingo, right under there. And so I'm going to just lay it on there because I don't want to actually adhere it yet. I want to be able to cut it right where I want it. And then we're going to put dimensionals on the back of that so it's nicely raised. Won't that be pretty? We'll have a nice insert for our little our little tea blanket. Actually, it's going to be, this one's going to be our little pink lemonade blanket, or if not pink lemonade, something pink. All right, dimensionals. when Jeff and I left to go to Washington, you know, I think I told you guys we had so many grackles in our yard, and that they were just swarming. And so a bunch of grackles is called a plague of grackles. It's a plague, and they really were kind of becoming like a plague. We were enjoying them for a while, and then gradually they started taking over. And then just before we left, that's too big. Let's get minis. I saw them swarming on the feeders and then leaving feeders that they were already swarming on and had taken completely over, leaving it to go chase the other birds off of the other feeders. They weren't, I was like, seriously. So I got so mad watching that. I thought, you pigs. I put seed out for all of you, and because you're not behaving with each other, being nice, fine. If you're going to chase all of the littler birds off, grackles, then you are done. And I went out right then, and I grabbed the feeders, and I shook out the last of the seed all over the yard like I was having a fit. Oh, I was so mad. And there wasn't a ton of seed left by then. I didn't have to expend any real energy. I just shook it all out, all over. I made sure it went all over the yard because the squirrels had been doing the same thing. They'd figured out how to land on the feeder from the tree. I thought I was out far enough away from, and wasn't. They're so creative. And they were landing on it, thud, and then stretching out and just pigging out. The seed's gone like in one day. You know what, the other birds lasts them a month to consume. And I'm not exaggerating. All the cardinals, all the wrens, all the sparrows, all the bluebirds, all the I don't know what, there's tons. They're really pretty and nice birds and sing nicely, and those grackles are so loud and annoying. And when there's only one or two grackles, they're actually quite nice. So I don't know if they swarm at a certain time and they don't at other times, because it seems like this happened last year too. And I went out and I just threw all the seed out of the feeders, or I just let it run out and didn't fill it. And then when Jeff and I went to, you know, on our little trip, we were gone for several days. So when we came back, I waited a couple more days. So we ended up not having seed in the yard for probably 2 whole weeks. All the grackles left, and I put seed out there, and now we're back to our normal birds again. And I do see grackle one. I think I've only seen one, maybe 2 one time, but they aren't coming and swarming anymore. So do they only do that during certain times of the year? It was really interesting when they were all on the ground, because of course only so many could, when they were swarming, and there were only, you know, 2 can fit on the feeders. They're so big. They were all over the ground, like a swarm of them, pecking around. And I saw the bigger ones, a couple of them, actually putting seed in the littler ones, which I assumed was their babies, but they were pretty big. Hard to tell the difference between the sizes. And the baby would just keep right at the parent's side with its beak open, like begging. And it's a big bird, you know? But they would feed it every once in a while. And I was like, oh, I don't know. Maybe they only do that swarming thing when their little ones have just newly fledged. Oh, it's off a little right there. So since that doesn't have to show anyway, I'm just going to snip that off, and you won't even know that I put it on crooked. There, so that piece is going to go right here on the inside of our card here. So I'm so glad the grackles are gone. I can sit out on the deck again, enjoying the peace and quiet. Once in a while I hear our neighbor's rooster, which is very fun and entertaining. Okay, now I didn't actually intend for my flap to come down and be a little short, but as you can see it is, and that's a good thing. You'd want it to be shorter rather than longer. If it was longer, you'd want to clip it. Okay, so now what we're going to do is make a piece for the inside. I want my 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece, and we'll stamp that and get that glued in there. Okay, so just 4 inches by, oops, my thing's upside down, 5 1/4. And now I've got to decide what I am doing as far as fruit goes. What kind of a punch am I gonna have? Because this is the part you gotta know. And one of the reasons I did do sweet citrus is because it has these cute little flowers on it. But my sweet strawberry does too. And my sweet as a peach does too. So maybe, no. I'm gonna stick with sweet citrus because the die for this is much less interesting than our, where's my top? Oh, it is in there. I just have it upside down. Oh, I see. I have all the images there and the words on a separate sheet. Why I do these things, I do not know. In fact, I open it and think, why did you do that? That was strange. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stay with sweet citrus. So we'll use these. Oh, I've already done these. Oh, perfect. I might not have to do all of that. We'll do one, though, just to be sure that you know what I'm doing. That will save some time. So the flowers. They can be cut out, but we're not going to bother doing that. We're going to just use them the way they are. There's a single one, and then there's this little grouping. And we've got Flirty Flamingo as our main contrast color. So let's just go with Flirty Flamingo. Where are you? Okay, so we'll just do our little... Put the big one down here on the bottom, the little ones up at the top. So cute. I don't think I need any flowers anywhere else. That will do just fine. And we should have a petal pen in here somewhere. Where are you? Petal pink. Okay. Petal pink. Let's see how you look. It's not quite as pink as I'd like. It's okay. Let's grab our Flirty Flamingo. Dark Flirty Flamingo, and we'll make our center with that, and then we'll drag in some of that. Maybe get a little more pink in there. Not really, but oh well. Okay, now for our flower, or our orange, I actually want this one down here. Since I used, it looks like I used Grapefruit Grove for my ink, I'm gonna make this just a little more petal pinky. But not much. I don't really want to cover up all that white in there, and it's not really doing it anyway. And I don't want to add any Flirty Flamingo to it. Let's see. Well, it's not too bad. I can get a little color in there without messing it up too much. Just because if I'd stamped this without, oops, I don't want it in the white part. Okay, now with my orange citrus, I actually really prefer to have it like right on the colored part. I don't really like any border showing around there. we're going to glue that here. And we want this little half piece too. And again, the only reason I'm having to color here is because I've previously stamped this with Grapefruit Grove. And that went great with the card that I have on Pinterest. But and it looks to me like my embossing is like kind of out here. So when I embossed this, I didn't do a perfect job. So in coloring it, I can sort of conceal that a little bit. But you don't want to color all of this. You want all of that white. So it's much better to just stamp it. On my, on the other card, if I get to it, I think might have time to. It's not too late yet. We'll see. This is just going to be a unique, this is definitely orange juice. This is not lemonade. This cannot be pink lemonade. You can call it tangerine juice. Yeah, my embossing isn't perfect for sure. Okay, interesting. It's probably why this piece was left behind and I did not use it. All right, same thing with this. I do not want you on the white on the edge, but it is, you don't want to, you know, mess up here either and cut all your lemon. Or see, this is a lemon shape, so we're going to hide some of this. It's obviously not an orange. We're going to hide some of the fact that you are not an orange behind my slice. Put the slice here, kind of hide the fact that you're a lemon. Let's cut your little nubbin off there. Okay. So since this is on the inside, you want this all glued down. And I'm leaving all of that. I'm not putting any white on it because I don't want there to be any, I want lots of room to write. Do you write a bunch in your cards? I like to write some, and my handwriting's not great. This one I'm going to put on the very bottom with the little lemon end tucked in and under, hiding. And then we'll put our, we'll put a dimensional on the slice. Where did those dimensionals go to? But all is well out there. It is nice and quiet. I do not hear dogs barking or anything. That's good. All right, now we're ready for our inside. Glue that down. I think it's trimmed good. Let's just double check. Yep. Perfect. Oops, that's my extra glue because I'm running low. And just in case I needed to, I have extra there. All right, have you heard the one about the calendar? The joke about the calendar. I've heard the calendar is needing help. I'm afraid for the calendar, in fact, because I've heard its days are numbered. Haha. But I thought that one was a pretty good one. All right, there we go. Very good. Good, good, good. And then on the inside, we want our little sentiment in white. We're going to put a little sentiment right here. And we're going to use Sending You a Big Squeeze. Oh, so cute. Okay, sending you a big squeeze. Are you going to fit in there? That's going to be a snug fit, but we'll get it to work. 30 Flamingo. At least I can see, since this is a clear stamp, so I can get it right on there. Sending you a big squeeze. I'll have to be careful who I'm sending that one to. I could send it to Jeff, but it's pink. I don't think he'd appreciate it. Okay, so now I actually want a lemon slice here, but you know what? I don't really like that one. It's not too bad. Let's do a half of a one. Okay, like that, and we'll just do that. Maybe do that. Maybe we'll do another half of a one. Maybe we'll do like there. We'll tuck that one underneath. Will that work? Not really. I'm not liking that so much. Kind of liked it better the way I had it before. So I'm going to get to that one. I'm going to have to do some more oranges. So now what we're going to do is work on this side. We want to use our little blanket. So cute. For our lemonade. But to do the So Refreshing lemonade to fit on there, you don't want the pitcher to be sticking up over the front. So we're going to need to do our pitcher and get that going. So let's stamp our pitcher. You're going to really like how easy this is to do. Let's see, I need a bigger block. And what we're going to do is stamp, I'll stamp the darker contrast colors, 30 Flamingo, so I'm going to stamp that, but I don't want this whole part, I don't want that really showing that dark, so I'm just going to rub that off. And then we've got our pitcher. We're going to cut this out with a die. It's okay if some of it shows. I just didn't want a real line going there because there's actually a stamp to do the interior. And so let's grab that. And we'll do that with our petal pink. Got powder pink. Pink pirouette. Rushing Bride. I got everything. There you are. Petal pink. My petal pink has faded so much. It must have been in the sun a long time. All right, now this you will have to stamp off. Okay, so we'll stamp that off. Cute. Very good. And then we're going to put our little slices inside. But we're going to do that with 30 Flamingo. And I don't know, we might want to stamp it off. I'm not sure. Let's see. No, I think it'll be okay. Yeah, we will stamp it off. So we're going to put one there. We're going to put one there. Maybe one more right there. So you've got your fruit in there. I'm also going to do a couple on the side. Oops, let's do that again because I do want 2 of these, and you have a die that will cut those out. Let me see how many of those I need. Just 2. And you have 2 dies to cut it out, which is kind of nice, although my die machine doesn't really cut nicely. You know, a whole lot of things don't necessarily cut nicely out. All right, we do need to clean that off, and then let's do our tumblers. Okay, got 2 tumblers. So there's the outline for the tumbler. We'll do that with Fruity Flamingo. And then the fill part for the tumbler with Petal Pink. Stamp that off. And then we cut those out. And you're gonna lay it on the blanket, and pretty much that's it for that set. I don't think I'm using any of the sentiments in that. Now, if you want to add, you know, anything here, I'd be real careful doing it. What the problem is that I can kind of see where my line is. But this, even though this is light petal pink, it's not going to be exactly the same. So you kind of want to be just a little careful if you're not like quite at the edge where that was. You can clean that before you stamped it off. You could have cleaned it really good, and then you wouldn't be having that issue at all. All right, let's take the cutting machine out again. Get these guys cut out. My wife said I should go do lunges to stay in shape, the husband said. Good. That would be a big step forward. Oh boy, that's a lame one. I hope no one uses that. That's a bad joke. Just not funny. Okay, there we go. Why do fathers take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing? This is kind of funny. Wait, there's our picture. We'll stick that on there. And then our tumblers. I've got two dies. Let's see if my machine will let me cut both of those out. And one, it's my magnet underneath. That's the problem. If it will, it oftentimes does not like to be very close to another die. We'll see. I could tape it, but it's quicker to just ignore it and do that. Well, this one too, I mean, it's straight up and down. If you don't have a die and you want to cut with scissors, that one's pretty easy. Not going to be hard to do, but that picture would be difficult. You're going to want the die for the picture. Hard to do the handle. It can be done, but... So why do fathers take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing? Because in case they get a hole in one. That's pretty funny. All right, and then our circles for the little slices. Again, I've got two dies to do it, but they're too close together, for one thing. I stamped it too close. So it's like, thank you, Stampin' Up, for providing two dies. That was very thoughtful of you, and it's so nice when people are smart enough to not stamp their stamp thing too close together. It works beautifully. But for me, I tend to just keep having to stamp one or cut out one thing at a time. No matter how nice you make it for me. All right, so that is done. And then what else do we have? Oh, our sweet citrus. Well, we'll have to do some stamping and embossing before we do any of that. So let's go ahead and put our little blanket together here. Now I want those, you cannot hardly see that those are raised, can you? So I'm gonna take my dark petal pink and just barely color a little bit, just put some lines on those so that I can see the detail of that little blanket a little better. It's cute, but you really, especially with your picture and everything on it, you cannot even see that. if you don't do that. Now this pen, as you can see, it's kind of making it darker at first, but then when it lightens up, it's better. And you don't want to color in the whole thing, because that's just going to look contrived. Not that this doesn't too, but even more so. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we've got our little blanket there. And now when I put my picture on here, I want to make sure the top is not going to be seen. So we're going to lower the blanket a bit more. Lower the picture a bit more. There, that's perfect. So now I know where to put my picture and my blanket. So we're putting the blanket like right on the bottom. All right, here's another one. You can groan. No one's listening to you. Hopefully. You can groan when it's a bad joke. Singing in the shower is fun until you get soap in your mouth. Then it's a soap opera. That was pretty funny. Okay, now I'm going to put dimensionals right here up on the top and 1 mini in my little picture handle. And then we'll glue the bottom, because the bottom is going to stick on that blanket, and I do not want my picture to have a raised, more of a raised bottom than a top. So let's put you like right there. And you don't show. Good, good, good. And then we want our tumblers. Let's do a little surgery on them. I'm going to put a lemon slice, or not lemon. What is this? Did I say? Blood orange. I'm going to put that a slice on the rim. So I'm going to trim the rim just a little bit. I don't want any extra white on there. That one, I didn't cut that one very well. So we'll do that too. All right, so one of these, I am going to take the scissors, and right where it's white, just cut the half of it. And let's get the best one. I think this one's a better one. And I'm going to stick that right there. I think. There we go, like that. Okay, and then you put your dimensional back there to make sure it stays in place. I barely got it on there, but I believe it's fine. Okay. That one is going to go in the front right there. This one we're going to kind of tuck in the back a little bit, raise it up a little. And as you can see, that one, the dimensionals all on it, makes the tumblers look like they're just a little bit in front of the picture, which is exactly where you want it. This one like here. And then we can take our other little slice and stick it on the bottom. And that one, I'm going to just glue. I'm going to just put a little dab of glue here. I don't think enough of it's going to, I better put a tiny bit of dimensional on the edge. Oops. There. All right, now the inside is all done. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And it will kind of pop open, you know. I mean, you could have wrapped the ribbon and tied it, but then it's just problematic for people to get it open and shut. unless the ribbon is coming here, and then it wouldn't shut, keep it shut, would it? So I try not to make things hard for people who are getting my cards, because I remember watching my mother. I wouldn't have thought about it, I guess. If my mother had not had Alzheimer's, I wouldn't have even thought about a lot of things, but she did. And watching her try to open one of my cards one time when it was just like a regular opening one, it was not even a complicated one, made me realize, I need to make sure that my cards are easy for people to figure out, because unless you're a card person, sometimes they seem a little more complicated than they need to be. Oops, those are dull scissors. Okay, there we go. Man, come on. Man, that doesn't sound like somebody I want to sound like. All right, there we go. All right, now that is too cute. And we have the front to do. We're going to do another sentiment here. We're going to do our citrus slices, and then this card is going to be done. I could use these on the front, but they're not really the right color, and I'm not all that happy with them. They're fine for this interior. I'm going to live with that, but let's do some nice ones. So I think I can use my scrap right here, and put my sweet citrus away, our So Refreshing away. Get our sweet citrus back out. All right, these are fun, fun, fun. So what you want to do, I think I'm going to just be using, I'm going to use this, well, it comes in one big piece, so what am I even talking for? All of them stamp in one go. Let's see if they'll fit. They will, but to get it, yeah, I don't know. I guess it'll be okay. Sometimes in the embossing folder, it's kind of, let's cut off a couple of little pieces here. All right, so that's going to be just fine. So we'll stamp this with Flirty Flamingo. Did I put you away? No, there you are. I don't know if I want it in full strength. Is this a big enough stamp? This is barely big enough. The bigger stamp would be maybe better to use. You could use your Stamparatus if you still have one. I know Stampin' Up's not doing it anymore, but I'm going to grab my bigger block. It's pretty big, so I don't use it often, but it's going to work a little better here. I can see right now that's going to be way too dark. So we'll stamp off, and then we'll stamp that. So make sure it's going to fit. This is like using up your last bit of scrap, huh? There we go. All right, very good. And then we will do our inside, I think maybe with, what do you think? Petal pink? I think so. So then the insides are these, because of course, oh man, look at that. It dripped water on my card when I did that. Say chamois. It must be super wet in there. Oh, I do not need this big one for this one. Okay, so I'm using Petal Pink. Hopefully my little wet spot won't mess it up. Let's see how strong that is. That's pretty strong, but I don't want it lighter than that. I'm just eyeballing every edge before I actually stamp it down. I don't think that one's positioned the way I want it. Oh, actually, it's pretty good. I think I'm going to be happy with that. All right, so we have all of the pieces we need, which is really lovely. We've got stamps in one stamp, all the things that you need. This is another reason I love this stamp set. And the other thing I love about it is that it embosses in window too, very nicely. Now, one thing about it is that although it is advertised as being able to cut and emboss at the same time, and it does, I personally do not use it that way. The stamp's not fitting in there nicely. I cut it before I emboss it, just because it does leave this ring, and although that's not damaging the folder, the embossing folder now, I do think that if you use it enough times, eventually it will. I know they claim that it doesn't, but I personally am not believing it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut first and then emboss. It's like one step. It's like seriously not hard. It's really easy to actually cut these, and it's easy to emboss them. And it has a really big border around each piece, so it's not even all that hard to cut out, but it is why I am needing to trim. I think I always need to trim these. I've done it both ways, without trimming and with trimming, and I just prefer it trimmed. So it's like whatever. Not that big a deal. And one thing about it having a nice big edge also is that when you're putting it in your embossing folder, that also is going to make it super easy to get it placed, just because it does have all those extra edges. So for your embossing, you need your regular plate, not your metallic, and your magnet one. And this blue one is the one that I can use with an embossing folder. This is a pretty fat one. I might have to go with my clear one. Some of these are fatter than others. Make sure you're looking at the top, and then you can just stick these in. Now, if you want to, you can keep a piece in here, and you know, it can kind of help place your rings. Initially, especially this one, this is the one that I always forget exactly which way it goes in. And then having this piece here kind of helps me place it. I really don't need it so much for the other ones, because they're pretty obvious how they fit on there. But but the big one is a little harder to figure out. So now that I kind of know, it's like I'll put my thumb on the big one. I don't really need that. And then we're going to just redo it, reposition. You could tape them on if you think they're going to move around at all. They shouldn't. They should be fine once you get it in place. Oops, that slipped off. Stick that back on there. That one right there. And that one right there. Okay, we are ready. Let's see if this is going to fit in here. Ah, it does easily. Perfect. Okay, I'm doing it 2 times just to get a really good impression. You know what? Unless you have these, if you do not have these inked up already, you can slightly moisten your paper, and sometimes you can get a really cool effect doing that. It'll impress it even a little bit more, but you gotta be careful. It'll tear if you're getting stuff way too wet. So, but it's just another thing you can do with your embossing folders to get a better impression. All right, so now look at those. Those are so cool because they're just perfectly embossed. Love it. We'll trim the edge. And I'm going to use my pen, I think, to make that a little darker. Maybe I shouldn't have stamped off. in September when we come back, and you can use your bonus coupons for hopefully the new catalog or stuff that you've missed, like the sweet citrus that you don't have yet. Be looking to see what kind of offer Stampin' Up! Has. Usually they do an offer around the same time when they have a catalog coming out, but I don't always know that that's what they do. But they sometimes do. As always, if you order, you know, about $100 or so more from me, then I will send you an embellishment package. If you order $50 or more, then you will be getting catalogs from me for the rest of the year. And if you thought that you were my customer and you didn't get your catalog, let me know. Sometimes these things happen, so let me know, and then I'll make sure that you get one after I've checked to make sure that yes, indeed, you've done your orders. And so there we go. So we're going to put that in with our sweet citrus stamps. Put that away later. All right, put that there. And we've got our tag that we're going to stamp on the cover. So we'll do our zesty birthday. You could do thanks a bunch. That would be nice too. Actually, I might do the thanks a bunch. Let's do that. I like that one. And then I know I'll be able to fit that did not fit in there nicely. I don't know why, but it's not. I'll have to readjust everything. It looks like I don't have things in place. If you lay it right in there on your case, you can get it right where it was originally. Thanks a bunch. Where will you fit? Okay, you can fit there. Perfect. Okay, Fruity Flamingo. Which side do we want it on? Probably this side. Make sure my stitched edge is up. It wasn't. I don't know how many times I've done that, where I've stamped it and then looked at it and it's like my tag was upside down and I stamped it already. What a ding dong. Thankfully, if it's cardstock that's dark enough, you can just stamp it again. But if it's not, you're stuck, or you got to cut out a new piece. We're going to slide that underneath and glue that right on there. And then I'll put my little slices on top, and this one will be done. Oh man, we are out of time. I knew I wasn't going to have time for that other card. But did I do tutorial? Oh no, I don't think I did. It was one that I thought, it's too complicated. I'll have to do that one. I'll have to use a different stamp set, and then we'll do that other one next week, maybe. Sometime. This is too cute. And we'll put that like that. Isn't that sweet? All right, so that's glued down, so I don't have to worry about leveling things out. So we can just put our dimensionals all over there. And then look and see which side's the best one and stick the side that's the best on the top. All right, what's another joke on the way out? Singing in the shower. Oh, we did that one. Oh, here's a good one for here. We have ticks here, you know. Keep seeing the warnings, although I've never seen one in our yard or even in a park or anywhere. What do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? Oh, this is funny. All right, now I ended up with our nice little line here. We can put this over here. This is where I kind of wanted it. In fact, we'll put the dots at the top, and we'll put that there. Oh, I forgot. This is actually not supposed to be a line. So we'll cut off this little nubbin and sort of turn it into an orange, like that. We'll glue this one down. So so what do a tick and the Eiffel Tower have in common? They're both parasites. I love that one. That one's a really good one. They're both parasites. Parasites and parasite. Parasites. I think that one's hilarious. Okay, this one. Very funny. I'm going to have to remember that one for my husband. He'll like that one. Okay. Sending you a big squeeze. Thanks a bunch. Aha, so sweet. Okay, so we did not have time for the other cardstock. I did tell you, I think I will just cut it really quick so that you can see how easy it is. I won't assemble it, but you'll be able to just see it cut because it's super, super easy. So this is a belly band, and I also am going to do something like this. I am, because it has this doily. And I'm going to do something with the doily next week. It's too cute. What you're going to do is you're going to cut 2 pieces that have this, this base card. Okay, so let me grab a piece of cardstock here so you can see it right on here. All right, so you're going to cut it like this. Okay, you're going to cut 2 of these. And then on the ends, you're scoring, I believe it's 2 inches. Let me use my board right here and see if that's correct. Where's my measurement? There it is. Yes, it's 2 inches. It's actually 2, and this one's a little off. It's supposed to be every 2 inches, I believe, although that looks a little off. I'll have to write in the dimensions because it's actually 2 1/8, 4 1/4, 6 3/8. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut one of these 8.5 by 11 sheets. You're going to cut it at 5.5 here. Okay, just cut it straight down, 5.5. You're going to cut off, it looks like you are cutting, oops, what did I just do that for? I can't see what the measurement is if I don't take this too. You are cutting off 1/2 inch. So you're cutting it 5.5 by 10.5. And then you're going to take your bone fold, you're going to cut 2 of those. And you do it any, color that you want. Oh, what the heck, let's just cut it so you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to grab a sheet, I don't want white. You want something that you have a lot of nice DSP with. So you're taking it like this. You're putting it in your 5.5 inch mark and cut that like that. And second one, that's going to be number 1. So we'll take that, and then you're going to do a second one, 5.5. Okay, now you're going to cut this long end. You're going to cut 1/2 inch off so that you end up with a 10.5 inch long piece. Okay, so we'll cut another 1/2 inch off there. Okay, so now you have these 2 pieces like this. Now we're going to score those. Just going to go on one side. You only want to score one side, and we're scoring it at 2 1/8. I need my ruler to see where that was. All right, so we're scoring it at 2 inches and at 4 1/4. Just maybe a hair under 4. Oh, I cut it. Shoot. Okie doke. I'll have to do the other one. 2 inches. Get that blade out of there. 4 1/4. Yeah, that was good. And 6 5/8. 6 5/8. Right there. All right, and then you're going to do 2 of these, okay? So you've got your mountain fold there, valley fold here, mountain fold here. Now you want, why is it turning out that way? That is not correct. Those measurements are off. It's a good thing I didn't do this because those are off. Look at that. I have to do this on my own and do it on a whole card day because that is not working out. Just pretend you didn't see any of that. Just believe all of this, okay? This is what we did today. And don't remember any of the other. I will do that other card one because that's worth doing. It's actually quite fun and it's very simple. I know I just flubbed it, so it's going to make it appear to not be simple. But it actually is a super simple one. So anyhow, I do look hot. It's warm. It's warm in here. It's actually not that bad. I've got a fan on me. It's just that I get excited and hot and red looking, and I'm not even all that warm. I am a little tacky. All right, thank you so much for watching and sharing my videos. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for subscribing to the YouTube channel and for subscribing or whatever you do on Facebook. I do appreciate it. Follow, like, share. All of those things are greatly appreciated. Keeps me in business, really. I couldn't do this otherwise. So thanks again. I appreciate, I value each one of you is actually what I'm trying to say. So I think that's it. I think I've said everything I needed to do. That right now there is a kind of a lull in the Stampin' Up! World. They're gonna do their backstage thing very soon, and then the new catalog comes out, and then there's just an explosion of ideas. So get ready. There's gonna be a lot more. There's some stuff on the online exclusives. There's this really cute truck one that's gonna be available. The stamp set I think is still available, but the punch went on back order like instantly. So you need to be a demonstrator if you are a crafter at all. I would love to have you join our team because I send out team kits each month, and on our team meeting, that's what we do together online. We just put together our kits, and while we're doing that, I tell you a little bit about what's happening in Stampin' Up! But instead of doing a long, boring meeting, you get to craft with us, and it's all free. So please join our team. When it is time to do that, I'll let you know. This is probably not the best time to do it. It's an okay time, but it's not the best. So keep tuned in for that. The reason I started on all of that is that because reason you want to be a demonstrator is then you would have had the chance to buy the pickup and the punch before it sold out. It's not the only thing that happens to, and it happens less than it did during the pandemic, thankfully, but it's still definitely worth being a demonstrator to have early access to stuff. My little hummingbird friend is back again. He's so cute and distracting. All right, thanks again for all the good thoughts and wishes, and keep sending out those cards. People love them, and they really they think you're pretty cool that you do that, and it's nice to tell people you can do it too. So keep telling them that, because you never know when somebody will decide to join you too, and it's fun to do it with other people. I do have that website, kathycrowscards.com. You can go to that and buy any kits. I don't always show the actual projects on those. I kind of went to some generic pictures to just give you an idea of what you will get if you do the kit. You'll get fancy folds, like this is one of the fancy folds that would be included in the fancy fold kit. But this card is not on there. It shows other things. I don't have time to update that with all the new ideas because I get new ideas and new projects all the time, and we use new stamp sets all the time. So basically those, I've divided all of my kits into the general idea for the kit, and then you would be able to purchase the stamp set of your choice to go with those. You wouldn't be stuck with what I already have in mind for it. So I've got a fancy fold one. I have a coloring one. I don't really remember what all of my kits are, but those are available, and then you can watch them and join me. You can just watch it at your leisure and put your things together, or you can actually join me. And like if it's the coloring ones, you would probably want to have me live with you so that I can help you with the coloring. Okay? Have a wonderful week. I will see you next week. I will be here, although I believe we will be having company, so I'm not sure how my schedule will work out, but I will be here at some point in time, either live or recorded. Thanks again. Bye-bye.